Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. Anda sedang menonton agenda Awani secara langsung dari studio Awani di Bukit Kuangan, Kuala Lumpur. Dan malam ini saya ingin melihat pada dunia global tapi dengan membawanya masuk ke studio Awani di Bukit Kuangan, Kuala Lumpur. Dan oleh itu saya ingin meminta izin untuk berbicara dalam bahasa Inggeris. I would like to welcome my two very exciting interviewees that I have for tonight. Closest to me, she makes me look old and very not beautiful. Mary Ketterman, English teaching assistant to Malaysia from the Fulbright program, and English teaching assistant. I will explain to you later. But the handsome young guy over there is Andrew Taylor, also another English teaching assistant. He'll be going to Sarawak. But ETA, or as we like to call it in short form, the Fulbright English Teaching Assistant Program is an element of the Fulbright US Student Program. Places recent college graduates and young professionals as English Teaching Assistant in primary and secondary schools or even universities overseas. That's straight from the website. But now I want to go to the practical side of things. There's always have been a debate about teaching English in Malaysia. And if I break it into two schools of thought, one would say that if you get a native speaker, somebody who's born into English and using English every day, then they will impart more knowledge of not only the language but also the cultural side of it. On the other perspective, then there's another view to it. But however, tonight it's your show, it's not mine actually, because I believe that the cultural part is a very important, if not the most important component of any learning experience or process. So Mary, this is your first time to Malaysia, but Andrew liked us so much that this is your second time under the Fulbright program. So maybe I'll start with you first. And you've been posted to Perak, now you're going to Sarawak. So why have you come back? And I've been, stalking blogs and postings on social media of the ex-Fulbrights, ETAs, and, from Montenegro right up to South America, wherever. And there's one clear message from there. The moment they went out of the United States of America, it's like, they got all this totally new experience that they have to go back. Yeah. If they went there to learn, they want to go back there to work and make it their career. So how about you?
I came back because last year when I was here in Perak, I fell in love with my students and just the youth of Malaysia. And I wanted to continue that this year. I feel like, we're in a powerful position and we can really make a change with the students here.
It's just interesting you say that. I'm going to play the devil's advocate here because some say that our youth are not as funky as those youths in maybe Los Angeles where you come from, or maybe on the streets of Manhattan or the Bronx or New Jersey, for example. And we're a bit more laid back, a bit more shy, and you have to engage just for quite a bit of time before we really open up to people and stuff like that. So you didn't experience all that, and well, how was your experience with the youth of Malaysia, especially in Padang Rengas, Perak?
Yeah, I had a beautiful experience. It was wonderful. And I would say that the youth of Malaysia are maybe even a little funkier than the youth in the US. Yeah.
You're not just saying, are you getting into our style where, we always say good things about our guests? And
not at all.
Okay, give me one example.
Yeah, well, when you enter the classroom, the students, they may appear to be a little shy and reserved, which is understandable. But once you do get to know them and you build those relationships, then that's when you get to truly see,
Even those who are not fluent in English will try their very best to communicate with you.
Yes, they try their best. Even walking on campus, if I cross a student, just saying hello to them, it causes them to speak in English.
They're very excited just to have you around their school.
Yes.
It's a source of their pride, bragging right to other schools, I can imagine, especially in the new social media way. Mary, Malaysia, very long way off from Pennsylvania. I know I suffered for 21 hours total flight time to go to the US thanks to Harvey. He's just behind the camera here. But that trip and all the things you've been reading up about Malaysia, what are you looking forward to?
Well, there is so much that I was looking forward to, and I'm already getting to enjoy, getting to know the people and talk to the locals.
So soon, and you're getting that already?
Yeah, everyone is so friendly. Well, we've been here for a full week, and everyone is so friendly. I manage to get lost very frequently, and everyone helps a lot.
Don't worry, even locally born people in KL get lost here still.
Yeah, so I'm loving the people. I'm loving the little bits of culture that I'm getting already, but I'm really looking forward to moving out to my state, Terengganu, and getting to know my community, my school there, and my kids. What's
the main difference? I know it's just been a week, but the vibes here as compared to there in America.
I think I kind of touched on this. People are so much more friendly. The pace is just a little bit slower.
It's not so hectic, right?
It's not so hectic. And if I stop to say something to someone, they do stop and have a conversation instead of just giving me an answer and hurrying on their way. They want to know everything about me, where I'm from, who I am.
Okay, cool. I'm going to go a bit in the second block after this short break to look at English and how, it's not just the pedagogy of things or this is the past tense, present tense, and future tense, but I remember watching one documentary or semi-documentary done about Fulbright and ETAs in Malaysia, and that ETA has got to go and do the things that the students did to immerse herself, it was a young lady, into the culture. Then they learn more from her. So maybe I'm going to compare that to your experience in Padang Rengas, and we'll discuss that after this short break, the experience of the ETAs in Malaysia. Terima kasih kerana masih menonton agenda Awani, dan malam ini kita berbicara tentang mereka yang datangnya jauh dari Amerika hanya untuk membantu anak-anak muda kita belajar bahasa Inggeris. I would like now to speak in English because I'm here with two very young English teaching assistants under the Fulbright program. And I was just asking Andrew about his experience in this school in Padang Rengas. Do you still remember the name of the school?
College Vocational Kuala Kangsar.
Wah, kelas. That's very near to my boss' school, which is called MCKK, but totally different discussion. Before I go to you and your experience, I'll just, because I know Andrew is very active, he told me during the break, he's very active on social media. So I'm sure you're keeping close tabs on your ex-students, even though you're going to go all the way to the east side of Malaysia. We go to now, kalau boleh kita pergi ke Norsia dengan kini trending, dan apa yang ada kena mengena dengan English ni yang trending di media sosial.
Terima kasih Cik Cam. Dan sebelum saya pergi ke media sosial Twitter, tadi saya sempat lihat di blog Fulbright Malaysia ETA, dan di sana ada cikgu-cikgu yang pernah mengajar di Malaysia, Fulbright cikgu ni, dia pernah berkongsi pengalaman mereka di blog tersebut. Dan kalau kita boleh lihat grafik, Sarah Townsend, dia berkongsi gambarnya dengan anak muridnya di sekolah rendah yang tempat dia mengajar bahasa Inggeris dulu. Dan dalam penulisannya di blog itu, dia cakap kerana anak muridnya dalam bahasa Inggeris dan cabaran memang sangat mencabar. Tapi apa yang dilakukan untuk mereka bercakap fasih dalam bahasa Inggeris, dia lakukan dengan cara yang fun supaya murid-murid tersebut rasa minat untuk bercakap bahasa Inggeris. Dan seterusnya, Karam Seti. Dia cakap dia pernah mengajar di sekolah SMK Taman Sutrajaya, dan dia bercerita sebelum datang ke Malaysia, kawan-kawan cakap kat Malaysia ni macam elektrisiti teruk, dia mungkin duduk kat ceruk, tapi sebenarnya tak. Dan apa yang betul-betul menangkap hati dia, Cik Kem, budak-budak ni sangat bersatu padu, terutamanya walaupun mereka Melayu, Cina, India, mereka sangat bersatu padu. Sebab di satu sekolah, dia bukan satu sekolah yang kebangsaan. So mereka walaupun kurang berbahasa Inggeris, tapi mereka ingin mencuba. Seterusnya, Brittany Edwards, dia cakap perkataan pertama yang dia belajar adalah malu, dan dia memang mengaku murid-murid yang dia mengajar tu adalah memang diorang sangat pemalu dan tak confident untuk berbahasa Inggeris. Tapi apa yang diterapkan kepada murid-muridnya dengan cara untuk berbahasa Inggeris, dia setiap hari nasihat berani, walaupun salah tak apa, janji berani untuk berbahasa Inggeris. Itu dia. Selepas tu, ini antara komen-komen di Twitter mengenai bahasa Inggeris daripada Rexel ataupun Relis Trilus. Dia mengeluh kenapalah bahasa Inggeris ni susah sangat. Ada juga yang susah nak bercakap bahasa Inggeris, ada yang cakap terbelit lidah lah. Tapi nak menulis boleh, agak mudah. Seperti adik Faris kita ni, dia cakap nak bercakap memang susah tapi kalau menulis senang sikit. Saya rasa memang ramai yang mengalami situasi macam tu. Dan seterusnya daripada Anis Baharudin, dia bercakap mengenai subjek sains dan matematik yang dulunya bahasa Inggeris, sekarang ni dah jadi bahasa Melayu balik. Dan mungkin agak payah bagi sesetengah pelajar untuk catch up balik apa yang mereka dah belajar dulu dalam bahasa Inggeris. So itu adalah antara luahan hati pelajar-pelajar di media sosial. Dan sekarang ni saya rasa ramai murid-murid sekolah yang boleh berbahasa Inggeris sebab pendedahan daripada filem, lagu-lagu yang dimainkan di radio dan macam-macam lagi, Cak Kam. Itu saja.
Okey. Terima kasih banyak Norsyah. Sayangnya tak ada daripada UiTM Shah Alam di mana Norsyah dan rakan-rakan AK dan sebagainya datang. Tapi tak apa. Terima kasih Norsyah saja je nak melawakkan, tak nak cakap dalam bahasa Inggeris. I have to sum up all that for you. I'm very sorry they don't want to give it in English. They're shy of you tonight. Those were what we got from the social media and posting of your seniors in that sense of ETAs before. And they noted their experiences in the blogs. They were amazed of the pluralism, and some admitted that their students were very shy and very afraid to approach them. But as they engage more and more, like I said, it's always the cultural side. Yeah. And then they went on to see what's trending on the hashtag of English on the Twitter and Instagram or whatever not. So some of the postings said, "Why is English so difficult? It's a tongue twister and everything else." So I guess this is the reality on ground. There's some pockets of our youth who look at English like that. Yeah. So your experience in Padang Rengas, again, I would like to tap into. And how did you break the barrier to get them to not only learn English, but I guess to love English and what it represents?
Yeah, it requires a lot of patience and just, you know, you got to continue moving forward with the students here. Yeah. Some of them are shy, and you know, when you walk into the classroom, they don't want to speak because they're maybe a little embarrassed that they might mess up.
And they were looking at you like this, right? You're so tall. And
they were, yes. Yes, I got several comments on my height.
Okay. Did you play sports with them just to, you know, break the barrier, break the ice?
Yeah, basketball, football, or soccer, as we call it in America.
And a lot of questions about what's there in the US.
Yeah, well, and the students here, you know, they are knowledgeable about pop singers and movies that come out in the US.
So probably they'll be watching some new movies first compared to you.
Yeah.
Okay, Mary, why choose the ETA as something to do? You know, there's so many opportunities in America. You know, when I was under the IVLP program, all the 3 states I went, Washington, Florida, New York, a lot of foundation, a lot of program, a lot of grants to do anything you want as compared to maybe developing nation like Malaysia. But you choose this one. You choose Fulbright.
Okay, so I was a full-time teacher last year in the United States, and I really enjoyed teaching, but I feel like the Fulbright program gives you so much more because I will continue to be able to teach and to share my knowledge, but I'm also going to be able to share my culture and in exchange learn about Malaysia and its culture and have all these brand new experiences myself and bring those experiences to my kids as well.
Okay, let's go for the last break, but once we are back, you know, a lot of things that we understand here about America sometimes doesn't come through, sadly, the US Embassy because it's more cultural products like songs, movies, lyrics, internet blogs or Facebooks, and maybe because of that, you know, if a dog bites a man, that's not news, but if a man bites a dog. So sometimes the more sad stories will come to the fore, more like shooting in schools in America, the 9/11 episode. So, you know, a lot of young people, they get attracted to all those stories because they want to understand, because we don't have it here. So maybe that's another point of discussion after this short break on you've got to be prepared to take all these questions from them, and we like to see culture as a very linear stuff, but it's not, and it comes anyway it comes. So that we'll discuss after this short break, because I believe it's not just about what you learn in Malaysia, but I think the kids changes. They can change people too. So maybe by the time you finish your second stint and your first stint here, you'll be totally the next level of person that you can be, and that we'll discuss after this short break. You're still watching Agenda Awani. I'm speaking in English tonight because I have two great guests here. They are ETAs, or English Teaching Assistants, under the Fulbright program. So I don't want to talk about pedagogy or whatever else. To me, it's more interesting that you connect people to people. The new diplomacy of the 21st century is said not to be by diplomats and embassies, nor disrespect to embassy officials here, but people have to speak. Even for the Southeast Asian nation grouping, we're looking at how we can get the people-to-people interaction, because it's always been about the elite diplomats. So now it's a more open society through social media and stuff. So I guess it will happen the same thing for ETAs, and there'll be a lot of questions also, I guess, about the social, cultural, and also political side of things. Maybe I was only when I was a journalist I truly understand the electoral college, for example, in full, on how you elect your president, for example. So maybe those will be the questions thrown to you, because it's midterm soon, and Barack Obama's last term and stuff like that. So what was the toughest question asked to you, you feel, when you were in Perak?
The toughest question. Well, America has many stereotypes.
Yes.
And, it's a very diverse country.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Malaysia is a very diverse country as well, as far as ethnic groups go. But, people were surprised that I was from America, being that I have brown skin.
Yes.
And so, they were curious.
You look more like us. And
I've been told I look Malay
yes.
many times.
Mm-hmm.
But so, yeah, to answer your question, I think that was the toughest question. Mm-hmm. Why or how are there, people who live in America who are of color?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You said the word stereotype, and I think there's a lot of that must be broken by initiative like Fulbright ETAs.
Yes.
And I guess during your interaction with our young, because there's no adult to filter that's direct interaction.
Yeah.
Nobody to influence what they say, whatever. It's totally their own opinion. And how far from reality are some of their views of America and its people, do you think?
Well, the young people here in Malaysia, they gather all of their information about America from pop songs and music and movies. Mm-hmm. So the perception is a little off. It's not everything that you hear in songs and movies. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's the beautiful thing about Fulbright and Macy, that they allow us to come to this country and really engage with the people here, and so we can help have this mutual exchange.
Okay. Cool. Mary, you've been a teacher before in the States, and what do you expect and hope to get by the end of your stint here? Because a teacher sometimes have a very different way of looking at things. You're like a candle that burn yourself for others, but this is others that you haven't really known and you haven't really seen.
Well, I hope to obviously spread the English language, but it's so much more than that.
Yeah.
It's what we've been talking about. It's breaking those stereotypes and not only bringing my culture to my children, but seeing their culture and taking it back to potential future students in the United States or whoever I'm near. It's the people-to-people connection that I'm really hoping for through this program.
I think you can do more than what the diplomats can do, because these are future leaders. 10, 15, 20, 25 years from now, we don't know who they will be. They might be the next prime minister of this country, for example. So what main thing of America do you think you will have to tell your future students, the one that you're going to Terengganu to teach about? If only you can make one point, what would that point be?
One point about the entire United States. Oh. I think it would probably be the diversity of the United States, that it's not just one culture or one type of person, not how we look or how we act or who we worship, that it's very diverse. So a lot of what they see in movies is not potentially accurate.
Yep, exactly. What are you looking forward to for in Sarawak? Because you've seen the peninsula.
Yes.
That's like 2 hours and a half or 45 minutes away across the South China Sea. So what are your expectations for Sarawak?
Yes, I have not been to Sarawak yet, but I am just looking forward to meeting the people and absorbing their culture, if they allow me to, and you know, having this exchange of culture with them.
There's a bigger gap. There's a gap between KL and Perak. There's a bigger gap between the whole of Peninsula and Sabah and Sarawak.
Yes.
So, you know, you're going to have your work cut out for you.
Yes.
I guess my last question would be to Mary, and I guess it's not a problem to communicate back home now, Facebook, Instagram, whatever else, then you have it. So, but I must warn you that not all areas in this country have broadband, but Terengganu has a good reputation for its broadband. So, do you communicate most on social media, or?
Yes, I communicate through various things.
That's good, because since you are now on this show and you're embarking on your stint as ETAs, Astro Awani will be following both Andrew and Mary on the social media from time to time, you know, to keep in touch and to show that, you know, we don't just talk about it and forget about it. And I am offering you right now, in front of the live audience, if you can really make one of your students conversant and being able to speak in public, both of you can bring them here to speak to the national audience, and we can see the progress that you have done. I'll get Harvey to sponsor them. Thank you, Harvey. Terima kasih banyak kepada anda kerana telah menonton, dan kita akan bertemu lagi dalam episod yang lain. Hantarkan pandangan anda seperti biasa kepada Instagram, Facebook, Twitter dan sebagainya, atau muat turun saja aplikasi Mudah Alih Astro Awani, iOS ataupun Android. Sekian, selamat malam dan terima kasih. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for having us.
It's always a pleasure. Come one for...